Good morning and welcome to The Point for Friday, August 20th, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9 and the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go To Fet Facebook pages. Always a pleasure to have you. It is Open Line Friday here on the program, where we give you, our viewers and listeners, an opportunity to call us or message us with anything that you'd like to share, any thoughts that you'd like to weigh in on, matters of national, regional and international importance. This is the platform to share. The landline number, it's 435-2041. The WhatsApp number, it's also 435-2041. On WhatsApp, please only written messages. No voice or video calls, no voice notes, no YouTube links, no pictures or videos, only written messages on WhatsApp. And you can also participate on the Facebook page and YouTube channel. Let's go to our first caller of the program. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Blossom.
Good morning. How you do?
I do good.
All right.
All right. You know, it's getting more difficult to get to your program.
Oh, my.
Well, anyways, Miss Blossom, I tried to make a point the other day, and maybe I wasn't going the right direction. Let me try this morning.
Okay.
So there are people in Grenada here, I think it's a majority. They don't have... they're not unionized, but they are working construction, civil, different departments.
Mm-hmm.
And when there is a problem in the workplace, they go to the labor department. I would think that's what the labor are for, to help resolve and so on. But people are not getting justice in the labor department. What is really happening, that for fact the labor minister all he does is call the employer, and that's the end of it. And he will push you until you get tired, you're fed up. People are frustrated. There are so many guys, they said, look, I'm not going back to work again. They prefer to go and struggle on the street, and they're not working. They doesn't want to work because of victimization, exploitation. Like one guy said to me, look, the employer said to me the F word, and I said back the F word to him. He fired me. And I go to the labor, and that's the end of it. I haven't heard anything again. He said I disrespect him. I mean, I just give you an example. But so what we need in Grenada, too much of victimization and so on coming from the top. And you will be surprised to know the people and the links that go so far, because, I mean, you have a few dollars and, you know, you could treat people, talk to people anyhow they want. They doesn't have a representation. Because I would have thought, Blossom, if you have a problem on the workplace and you go to the labor department, they would get the two parties and maybe some form of negotiation and so on, like something like the union then. But that doesn't happen. And it's not happening in 1921. It's not happening in 2021. It happened in ages. If you're on the street and you're having dialogue with people, when you're talking to them about the vaccine and so on, and they're telling you, one bring the next. So what I am really saying now, there is no justice. That's why people getting confused. They're committing suicide. Listen, you see people committing suicide, and you say, boy, this lady or this guy, it's so quiet and walking, because they have nobody to help them. Nobody to talk to, nobody listens to you, the people who are supposed to, and instead of rejection, so they're confused, they're getting depressed.
Okay.
So I'm asking the labor commissioner, Mr. Griffith, to please resign.
Okay.
Give somebody else a chance. Maybe he's there too long, he's tired.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much, caller. All right, let me check the social media. Caller, I can say it's not always... no, let me not say it that way. There are other people involved in situations like the commissioner's employees I have heard reports of the information not being passed on to him in some cases. Some people deal with it at their level and not get the commissioner involved all the time. Whether they're supposed to or they're not, or whether it's a must or not a must, as the saying goes, I am not sure, but I have heard of reports of issues not getting to him for him to deal with it. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning, how you do? It's been a while.
Yes. Blossom, it is very sad that people don't realize the times that we are living in. Now, we have a God in heaven and we have a devil also in the atmosphere. We only concentrating on what we could see, but the persons we can't see, we don't give any credence. Now, the lady just said, people depressed, they don't have nobody to help them. There is God. And when people depart from their God, the devil advantage them. The first thing when they have a problem, they hear a voice in them, but kill yourself, girl, kill yourself. That's the devil. If people have God in their lives, the Holy Spirit will give them ease. They wouldn't have to bear the brunt of their burdens. They wouldn't have to carry their load. They have a God that can lay their burdens on. He says, casting all your cares upon him because he cared for you. How do we expect to leave God less? Leave God out of everything, and that is what we have. That is what we have. Was a whole certain person speaking and thing and referring to Christianity or to those who know God as superstition. Let me tell them something. The day coming when they're going to recognize what they call superstition is what would have rescued a soul from hell. So people, Grenada, this is a time when we need to pray. This is an era where God is calling the nations of the world. You see what's happening around the world? People must turn to God. He is the only solution. Have a blessed weekend.
Thank you. You do the same as Jeremiah. Enjoy your weekend as well. Let me check the Facebook, the YouTube, the WhatsApp. Back to the landline. I'm not going to read that WhatsApp. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning, Mr. Bido. How you do?
Well, just easy and learning from the program. Well, to the open line point then. Listen, appealing to the first caller, right? Let me hold the radio. Yeah, hold on a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm appealing to the first caller, right? What I'm saying is that, if you're trying to make a living, right, you have to take it easy with people. Don't rush them and, don't rush them, don't ball in the head and everything, because if they leave the work and they go on the street, what they go eat and drink when they go home, So, I don't know what to say. I mean, the Bible says, by the sweat of thy brow you shall eat bread. And you have to search your brow to eat your bread. But what I'm trying to explain to you, them boss must take it easy with people, even though they don't know the work self. Leave them, give them a chance, and, so then let me leave it for now until next time.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bido. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much. You too.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Bido. Good morning, Carrico and PG Martinique. Making the wrongs again before I go back by the landline. YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, since the coronavirus is a name given to the virus that causes a common cold and flu, thus COVID-19 stands for Coronavirus 2019, where did the flu and common cold go to all of a sudden? Suddenly no one has a cold or flu, and how can the unvaccinated put in danger those who are vaccinated? And how does the 1-year-old COVID vaccine prevent one from dying of the very new Delta variant, which popped up its head a few months ago? And how did the CDC know the symptoms of the new variant 3 months after the COVID-19 outbreak? Those are a lot of questions. I'm going to take the call and then I'll see if I can answer some of the questions. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How you do?
Let's take it easy.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah. When we have these kind of complaints, they must come and read it for themselves. They must have given people a talk for you.
When they, sorry, say it again?
When they have this kind of complaint, they must come and talk to you for themselves. Don't let them tell people to come and talk to them. So we'll get truth of it.
Okay, which complaints?
No, boy, the man, the The man in Labor Day.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Right. And Gary Days, Gary Union, when you have those things, you get the worker and the complainant and the man in place to come and have a meeting with them to do the truth about it. You understand? Yeah, but they don't do it like that. You follow?
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
My idea.
All right. Have a good one.
Same to you.
Okay. All right, let me go back. Where did the WhatsApp? Right. Where did the flu and common cold go? It was a few weeks ago that there were reports of the cold going around, the usual carnival cold. That was, just a few weeks ago, if not 2 weeks ago. I recall people speaking about having the cold, as well as there are people who are not reporting it because they say they're afraid. What were cold symptoms could now be COVID-19 symptoms, so people are afraid to say, I have the cold. So that's one of the things. But just a few weeks ago, I heard of people who are suffering from the flu. How can the unvaccinated put in danger those who are vaccinated? Remember, vaccinated people can still get, carry, and pass on COVID-19 vaccine. For some of the vaccinated, the concern is not necessarily them, but the concern is the people around them. I remember speaking to the wife of a friend of mine who said she is fully vaccinated, so is her husband, but they have a 5-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter, or vice versa, but 5 and 7-year-olds, and they cannot be vaccinated. So they are fearful that they can get the virus and spread to their children. So that's one of the concerns for the vaccinated, that yes, they can get it and spread it, and who they may spread it to. So they prefer not to mix and mingle, some of them at least prefer to keep to their own space. How does the 1-year-old COVID vaccine prevent one from dying of the very new Delta variant? I remember, like I explained yesterday, the COVID-19 is a group of viruses. So they have a base for COVID-19, just like they have a base for the vaccine. And the vaccine is, it has its effects on the variants, the Delta variant, the Alpha variant. They have their effects on these variants because the base is the same. So they are able to have its effects on, for now at least, the variants that have been popping up. At least some of the vaccines have effects on the variants that are popping up in recent months. And how did the CDC know the symptoms of the new variant 3 months after the COVID-19 outbreak? To verify which variant of the COVID-19 it is, there's a sequencing that is done. The sequence of the samples collected. So the sequence for the Alpha variant may have an X in it, and the sequence for the Delta variant may have a Y in it. So they're able to tell the difference based on the sequencing that they do the tests, which is why only specific organizations can test for the variants. Grenada and other Caribbean islands, to test for the variants, we have to send the samples to CARFA because we can't do it on our own. CARFA has the facilities to test for the sequencing, which would determine which variant it is. So that's how they are able to determine the symptoms of and which variant it is. Hopefully that answered. It was a bit lengthy, but I wanted to at least share the information that I have. Let me go back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How you do?
First time caller.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're doing a wonderful, excellent job.
Thank you, caller.
I'm 71 years old.
You don't sound so at all.
Please don't be distracted. I need to ask you a hypothetical question.
Okay.
You have a boss.
Yes, I do.
If your boss asks you a question, aren't you supposed to give the best answer you can to your ability?
Yes.
There
Correct.
you go. There you go. So we're coming back to the distractors. Do your job. Do your job without fear and favor. I was in the military. I spent a long time in the military. You follow chain of command and you do your job. And I think you are doing an excellent job. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, caller. You just made my day. Appreciate it. And I get the message. I get the message and appreciate it. I try my best to... I'm not just here filling a seat. I feel like I'm here to share information as best as I possibly can. So I try to stay as informed as I can so that I can share it. And like you said, I have a boss to answer to, so don't pay attention to the distractors. I get your drift. Thank you very much, caller. I appreciate your input this morning. All right, let me see if I can get to a WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, the people who are dying around the world, are you trying to tell me that none of them have turned to God? I read my Bible regularly, but sometimes I take things in my own hands. Another WhatsApper says, would like to suggest that the managers of the debushing program speak to the debushers about personal safety. Too many of them are seen weed eating, raking, cutlassing, gathering and picking up debris with bare hands, no face coverings, only slippers on their feet. Please look out more for these humble people who are doing a wonderful job. I 100% support you on taking personal safety more seriously when it comes to the debushers. I recall going up on the western side of the island maybe about 2 weeks ago, and the crew they were cutting some bush on like a cliff, so they were using a ladder to get to the overhanging branches. It was around a corner, and where they placed the cones, by the time you see the cone, there could have been an accident. So I agree with you that more safety needs to be taken. Even when I'm leaving home on mornings and I see the debushers, I see them in slippers. They don't have on goggles. The weed eating people. I don't know what to call them. The folks using the weed eaters, they're not wearing goggles. I even saw one in a 3/4 pants once, and I was like, okay. So I agree with you on taking personal safety more seriously. Is the onus on the debushers, or is the onus on their employers to ensure that they have proper equipment? I'm seriously asking. I'm not sure. So is it that me as your employer have to provide the equipment, or is it that the debushers are responsible for getting the weed eater, the cutlass, and safety gear? If anybody knows, feel free to share it with me. That's a serious question that I'm asking. No shade, no, just seriously asking, because I'm not sure. Landline. Good morning, caller. Morning, caller. Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to highlight this morning is the use of the pedestrian cross in front of the carnage there. I've been to town recently and I've seen that the painting on the ground there has it faded. The white marking that was painted there. I think that would continue to pose as a hazard to nationals as well as foreigners. I think that we should highlight it because it is a hazard.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate. I too raised that concern a few weeks ago, and somebody informed me that they are doing away with that pedestrian crossing, that it is no longer in place. Was the word cancelled? That pedestrian crossing. So the one that they're using officially is the one directly in front of Spice Island Imaging. So they're no longer using the one closer to the bus stop, which I feel like should be replaced because it's closer to the bus stop. So when I drop on the carnage there, I could just, use that crossing there. So it's something I think they should reinstate, replace. But I understand they're doing away with it, which is why it has not been repainted. All right, let me see if there are any questions, comments on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, as was said in most countries, flu was not showing up because we were wearing masks, sanitizing, and keeping a distance. We were more aware. Yes, it didn't have flu in 2020 because everybody was sanitizing, but as as we start to lapse in 2021, few people are coming up with it. Good point, Facebooker. YouTube. Somebody asks, can you tell me if the WHO CDC ever does an autopsy on any coronavirus death? Yes. Not all. Let me not say not all. Some coronavirus related deaths, some of those patients, they performed autopsies on some of them. Because according to the reports, it's not the coronavirus that's killing you. It is the coronavirus exacerbating your illness or your sickness in some cases. So while you may have had the virus and it may have accelerated your time on Earth, it's not the virus that killed you. It's the virus affected your heart, and heart failure killed you. So it's that kind of thing. That's why they say coronavirus-related death and not coronavirus death. So autopsies have been carried out on some patients, I am aware, as families wanted to determine exactly what killed their loved ones. WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp, hold on, landline, no. Somebody on WhatsApp says, human rights or democracy is important for societal well-being. The embargo affects Cuba negatively, but let's not ignore the lack of some basic human rights. Why are we not speaking out about that? Just imagine how we will react if our rights were restricted like that. We have been speaking out, individual countries, individual people, CARICOM collectively, but the onus is, while we can speak out from now until the cows come home, the powers that be who can do something about the embargo are not responding positively. That's the problem. So we can all yap and speak out and justice for Cuba, but the powers that be who have the embargo in place are not lifting the embargo, and that's where the problem is. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning, how you do?
Fairly all right.
All right, go ahead.
I asked the Minister of Health a few weeks ago. I wanted to say, give me details as to the number of people that died, maybe for the month or for the year, from different complaints or different problems. And I was looking forward to get it as soon as possible. Then I would be able to see if they die from coronavirus or whatever virus is. You don't have to call the names as I've told him. And I'm still waiting on that number. Or as you all would say, that amount, but I would say that number or that quantity. No, I'm serious about it. Then I could analyze what is taking place with the death of the individual complaint, and then I would make my my conclusion. That's what I say. So I still with it. I know you have the ability and the wit and the whims and so on to get that account for me, please. Could you can get it from him, please? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I can make the request. The next time he's here, remind him/us, or you can call and ask the question again, because Blossom getting kind of old. Blossom may forget, so just remind us. Remind us of the information you're seeking. Maybe he has it and he has forgotten to share, or he's still collecting the data, whatever it is. Next time he is on the program, feel free to remind us to get the information. All right, let me read some comments. Let me go to YouTube. Somebody on YouTube, start over. Somebody on YouTube says, GBN reported on a chopping recently and showed a severed hand with little attempt to censor it or a sensitive images warning before the showing. Not good for younger and sensitive viewers. We were made aware of the discomfort. discomfort the word? Let's say discomfort, unless I can think of another one. We were made aware of the discomfort the footage caused for some of our viewers, and I can't remember what remedial work was done the following day, to be honest. But we were made aware of it, and once again, we do apologize to our viewers who were, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but who are not pleased with the showing of the hand. There were some blurring done on the footage, on the photo, but I guess just the fact that it was a hand itself. We did blur out the blood spot, we blurred out, let me not describe it, never mind. But efforts were made, but we do apologize to the viewers who it upset. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes. Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says it is for the owner to provide safety equipment for the employee. That's in relation to my question about safety PPEs, personal protective equipment for the bushers. It is the owner to provide safety equipment. So the contractor? Okay. All right. Let me go back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Well, good morning, Ms. Blossom.
Good morning. How you do?
I'm not too bad, and you?
I'm not too bad myself.
Nice.
All right.
Well, I want to ask a question and make a statement also.
Okay.
Now, you in a trawler, we're going to fish. You in a trawler, your boat is a bigger boat than mine. You have a stone on your boat. I have a small boat with a 45 engine on it. Right? You go further than I do, and you let go your stone. I take my 45 engine boat and I reach as close as where you reach and I drop my stone. When I drop my stone, who you think will see my stone? Nobody will see my stone because my boat is a small boat. But they see your big boat when you come because my own small. So then when the small man says something below, those on top, they just take it and just throw it out in the ocean because nobody looking at it because I small. Right? So this is what they're doing to us. They would not tell us the original truth and they will not answer the question that is made to us. So to answer, right? And they will not all around the bush. I say all that to see. There is a question that was asked to the gentleman, Mr. Steele, and he's going to give the answer. And up to now, he don't give the answer yet. I would like him to give the answer about what is the reaction of the vaccine when you take it, and when you get sick, who fully responds for you when you have your family to see after. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. They have shared on numerous programs, and the information is available once you search for it in relation to the adverse effects of the vaccine. It include soreness on the site of the injection. You can get fever. You can get slight muscle pain. You can get headaches. But as the medical professionals have been doing at the vaccination sites, before you take the injection, they would inform you of the effects and they would advise what medication you can possibly purchase in the meantime in the event that you get adverse effects. Not everyone experiences it. Just yesterday, somebody called and said one of the advice that they received was not from the health professionals, but that's a general information. When you're going to take a vaccine, you eat shortly prior to getting vaccinated, and that would lessen the effects that you experience. And according to the call, if not yesterday, the day before, they ate just before going to get their 2 shots and they experienced no effects whatsoever. So maybe that's an advice for people who are going to get vaccinated. Eat shortly before, maybe about half an hour before you get the injection, and that could lessen, reduce, or completely avoid any adverse effects if you are getting vaccinated. There was another question the caller just asked. The effects and who's responsible. Who's responsible? According to the minister, if my memory serves me correctly, I think it was only one person that needed to be hospitalized after getting the vaccine. They got sick enough to be hospitalized. So that's, I guess, who's responsible. You go to the hospital, they treat whatever symptoms you may have, And that's that. Most of the people who have been vaccinated did not require hospitalization. So you shouldn't be, let me not say that. Yeah, most people have not been requiring to be hospitalized from the adverse effects of the vaccine. Hopefully that answered the question. But the hospital will take care of you, the general hospital. Or if you prefer private attendance, I guess as much. I'm not sure what would happen there in terms of who pays if you go privately, but usually they can treat you at a health facility according to the adverse effects you are experiencing. All right, let us take a break and then we're going to come back and continue with open phone line here on To The Point. This is Classic and GBN. We will be right back.
Sneezes spread diseases, so cover coughs and sneezes, please. Not with a rag or bandana. They trap germs. When you use the rag again, you put germs on your hands and everything else you touch. When you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and nose with tissue. Throw the tissue in a bin and wash your hands afterwards. If you don't have a tissue, cough into your sleeve or elbow. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers are also effective in cleaning hands.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice. Avoid touching your face, especially your eyes, nose, and mouth. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with an alcohol content between 60 and 90%. 70% is ideal. When you cough or sneeze, cover your nose and mouth with a flexed elbow or a tissue. Dispose of the tissue immediately and then wash your hands. If you notice someone has a fever and cough or other symptoms,
welcome back to Open Phone Line here on the program on To The Point. Once again, the landline number 435-2041. WhatsApp, it's also 435-2041. Only written messages on WhatsApp. Somebody has been calling the WhatsApp for the past 15 minutes or so. Please, no calls on the WhatsApp, only written messages. And you can continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on Facebook and YouTube. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blackie. How are you doing?
Morning, I'm good. How you do?
I just cool, sweetheart. I just want to say to our male folks, that's not the way to treat a lady. If she's wrong, try to help her right. No need to quarrel, no need to cause a fight. Because the daughters take a little longer. You hear, brothers? Blackie, you know. I watch how my Prime Minister operating for the last how much years I don't count. We had a woman minister of youth, and bless them, trust me, the children start coming around. When you could win young people's heart, is good. She started taking them out to church, and you could see the young people had loved that woman, and they would have turned around big time. But with Prime Minister, see that? take her out from youth, and I don't know where he placed her. These children and them fall right back. Look at it, we have 4 women in St. Andrews. You think the Prime Minister couldn't leave these 4 women handle this little factory to make their little uniform, and look how much young people in his area. Put up a factory up there now and let the young people up there make their little jersey for the campaign. It push up. And here what it come and highlight. It could make a jersey and we go reach out to other political parties. So you're looking out to sell jersey. But I want to say to my Prime Minister this morning, put a factory in your area and make the jerseys for the campaign and allow the 4 in St. Andrews to walk on the map. And
hello? Hello? Caller, we seem to have lost you. I heard a little break in the call, but it seems like you got cut off there. It wasn't me. I'm not sure. All right, let me go to YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says, Blossom, don't allow yourself to be part of the injustice to humanity. Who told you autopsies were carried out on people who died from COVID-19? Different countries have reported, including at least one Caribbean country. I'm trying to remember which one. One comes to mind, but it didn't feel right on my mind. But I remember a prime minister report, not a minister, the Minister of Health, reporting of carrying out an autopsy at the request of the family. Because the person was one of was it Guyana loss? The person was one of the positive COVID-19 cases, so they wanted an official autopsy. Autopsies are carried out on, and there have been international countries as well who've said the same thing. But maybe if you hear that one Caribbean country is among them, then hopefully. All right, let me go to a comment. That one kind of lengthy. I have to sit up on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, last Wednesday, we all heard the rage from Minister Steele on GBN and the carnival-like gathering. Well, I have 2 friends who came to Grenada and was very much disappointed with what they saw coming off the plane in the COVID testing area. They were disgusted with what they saw and said you have a better chance to catch COVID in Grenada than in the U.S., where they are living. No protocol in place. The place was unsanitary, and I recalled Mr. Bernard mentioning that after visiting the emergency, he noticed there's no sanitary station and was bashed for saying what he saw. Now we have Senator McQueen with the same complaint and calling on Minister Steele to release the tape of what she witnessed at MBIA. Now we have Minister Steele on a tape wearing no mask around other people who are not following the protocol. What example is our goodly minister displaying to us Grenadians after saying we will die? We stupid. Now he's been caught on tape. I think Minister Steele and others come on TV making Grenada look great for PAHO and WHO, but behind the scenes it's a different picture entirely. I think the minister reaches a point together with the Prime Minister that they both should resign. I think retirement is calling, plus they already qualify for pension and gratuity, which they made the law into their favor. Ooh, okay, all right. That was lengthy. I don't know how to respond to that. Let me go to our WhatsApp. I haven't been on WhatsApp in a while. Somebody on WhatsApp says, hold on. Work with me, WhatsApp. Right. Somebody on WhatsApp says, the COVID-19 mRNA injection is called gene therapy, not a vaccine. It alters your I'm not going to read the rest because there have been claims refuting that the vaccines alter your DNA. So I'm not going to read the rest. Let me go to another WhatsApp. Somebody else on WhatsApp says it is appalling the extent of ignorance in Grenada. This is obvious by the high number of callers who demonstrate low IQ and lack of learning. Safety should be taught in schools. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
And to your followers.
Morning.
There is a lot of chatter around about a number of new cases. I guess we're waiting for the official words, but it seems as though the honeymoon for us in Grenada is over, and we are beginning to experience, sadly, what many others around us have been experiencing. I'm just calling on everyone, please, let us be smart. Let us do the right things. If you don't want to get vaccinated, let's just follow the protocols. And now, somebody spoke of sensitivity in terms of that hand that was shown on the television. I felt very bad. I couldn't look at it myself. Some folks had it on WhatsApp as well. But I thought that, and mind you, I'm high in praise for the ministry and the Minister of Health for the job they have done thus far, in a general sense, in keeping us in Grenada safe. The workers, everybody, even the folks at the ministry, the administrative people, hats off to them. But I saw that when the minister spoke on Wednesday, he could have shown a little bit more sensitivity. I mean, saying that it's only 22 minutes that there were no swabs. 22 minutes is a long time for somebody who's been traveling for 17 hours. I know people who were at the airport at 4 a.m. in UK, and they got here at 4 a.m. 4 p.m. in Grenada. At least he could have said something to the effect that he apologized with them. But after you've been on an airport and flying for 17 hours, and you are left to wait again for 22 or 30 minutes, whatever it was, not knowing what would happen, I think an apology was in place. And it is sad. That's why we hear a lot of words of arrogance and things of that sort. An apology was in place. I didn't hear it. I don't know if anyone heard an apology, but all we heard it was from whatever 48 to 10 minutes the next hour or whatever it was, and that's not good enough for public officials. One other thing. It seems as though, I don't know what deal you have with Grenlec now, Blossom, but it seems as though you're getting a bit of revenue from Grenlec, because I'm noticing that the frequency for the ads has increased significantly, especially those talking about how to save electricity, and that's very good. We have to encourage people to save. But you know, for many years we've been hearing that the electricity is high, not because we're not using it wisely, but because the company is milking us. And we are told that it is the highest in the world. Now, 8 months after the government has taken control of the company and promising that they will reduce the rates significantly, there is no rate increase. The rates are increasing. So now what we're hearing, if the rates are high, is because you, not the company anymore, that's not owned by the government, because you are wasting it. So we see now that the rhetoric is changing. It's no longer the company to be blamed. It is now you, the customer. And you're hearing it's pounding the airwaves. Before you used to hear it only in the night during the television news. Now you're hearing it all day on radio, everywhere. It's no longer the company to be blamed for the high rates. You're the consumer. The whole rhetoric is changing. And it's done smart, in a very smart way. Don't blame us. Blame yourself. Be wise, Grenadians. Have a pleasant day and a good weekend, Blossom.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard. You enjoy your weekend as well. I don't know about the revenue from those ads. That's above my pay grade, sir. Facebook, somebody on Facebook says the so-called champion of labor on a news program stated that if he had his way, he would enforce mandatory vaccines for all workers. He's also lecturing the TUC to encourage workers to take the vaccine. What was so shameful is that the individual quoted certain sections of our Constitution about measures that can be taken during a public health crisis. That guy was part of an administration that has suspended the same Constitution for over 4.5 years. Lepers can change their spots. He should be ashamed to quote anything from the Constitution when he is a stranger to the democratic process. Poor guy, from a hero to a zero. Another Facebooker says, I am urging GBN to do a bit of investigative journalism as a follow-up into the readiness and completion of work done on the Guelph Polytechnic Clinic and Phase 2 of the General Hospital. Minister Steele said he was hopeful that it will be ready by the end of August. Please ask him for us which year he meant. I like that, which year he meant. He was asked about it at post-cabinet briefing on Tuesday. And I believe he did say the timeline was August, September. If my memory serves me correctly, and I think it does. He did mention that the timeline for completion, or at least for opening, was August, September. So maybe there are things happening in the building that we can't see. Facebooker.
Hello.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, and how are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How you do?
Fine, thanks.
All right, go ahead.
I want to say two things. One, in response to the call about we the consumers have to be blamed for the high price in electricity, that's untrue. And I will say it as a patriotic Grenadian, and I love Grenada, and I wouldn't mind dying for Grenada if it becomes necessary. The sale of Grenlec by the NDC administration to WRB was wrong. It was the worst deal that took place in this country since slavery. As a matter of fact, it's so immoral and vulgar, it could be compared to the slave trade. Fine. The high price of electricity has a lot to do currently, and even sometimes during WRB reign, with the price that fluctuates on the international market for oil and petroleum products. Great. I want to speak now about what I consider to be a bit of a lack of wisdom by my Grenadian people. So look at the variant now. They said it's all the Delta variant of the COVID-19 is spreading, and it appears that there might be community spread. First of all, I thought it was unwise for people to gather. If I had any say, I would not have given no permission for any party or any carnival-like session for those who are fully vaccinated. We have to know our people. There are going to be slips in the cracks, and it appears that there were slips in the cracks. Right, people were able to get through there who are not vaccinated, etc., etc. I think a ban on carnival activities has been comprehensive. No activities mean no activities. Today, look what is happening. As an underdeveloped third world country, we have a problem with the health system. And I pray God, Almighty God, to bless and to take charge and control and prevent a catastrophe from happening in Grenada with the spread of the virus. People should be smart than that. Leave the politics one side. Leave the DC one side. You are not a medical doctor. Do not make comment on medical science. You are ignorant about it, perhaps just as me. So listen to the expert. Take the precautions. Look at the buses now. People are not wearing masks in the bus. And those buses, you go to many public places, people are there in a careless way. I want to make an appeal for us to be wise. Let us protect ourselves and save lives. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, caller. Appreciate your participation and your contribution. Let me see if I can get to some WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I have a water pressure problem in my house for months, but I don't report it because I thought it was just in my area in Westerhall. I visited my neighbor and found out that they had no water problem. I have been calling Nawasa for a few weeks. I have a cell phone, and every time I call, they're putting me on voicemail, which takes away all my credit. And when I try to go to their office, it always has long lines. Some of us are busy and can't stand in these lines. I think Nawasa, Flo and Grenlec need to do a better job. They lack customer service. Not just them, most places lack customer service. I'll start there. Secondly, Nawasa has a hotline number. What is the hotline number? 237 is Grenlec. Nawasa is 2365? Lawrence, I can't remember. Don't dial. I can't remember. So maybe you can get the hotline number and try there. Or if you can get the number for an employee, or you may just have to wait in the long line. Maybe you don't have to go in the line. There could be a space for customer. Yes, there is a space for customer service at NOASA's new headquarters, located just on Lucas Street there in front of GBN. So maybe you may not have to be in the long line for customer service. All right, more WhatsApps. I haven't been on WhatsApp for a while. Let me see. Somebody on WhatsApp is asking, somebody on WhatsApp is asking, who does the Bushers work for? Is it a subcontract or are they employed directly through the Department of Labor? I believe it's a contract. That's why I wasn't sure. I believe it's a contract. They give somebody the contract and they have to get their crew together. So it's not direct employment, it's a subcontract. Still on WhatsApp, somebody says the Minister of Health is as arrogant as his boss. Don't expect anything different. Imagine the government having to put legislation in place for a motorcycle rider to wear a helmet to save his own head. My point exactly with the Debushers to wear the proper gear to protect themselves. Point, protect yourself. All right, do you know where and when Pfizer vaccine will be given? I understand the Pfizer will begin to be administered on Monday, God willing. And it will be at the vaccination sites already in place. The health centers, the mass vaccination site is at the National Stadium. Vaccine shots are also available at the St. Augustine Medical Station. Once I get the exact schedule of who will be where and when they'll be there, I'll share it with you. But those are the sites I know. Health centers, which you need an appointment for, the National Stadium, and St. Augustine Medical Station. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom, and morning to your listeners and your viewers.
Morning.
It's interesting how we tend to want to defend the indefensible. In fact, somebody called me yesterday and said to me, what is wrong with this world? Because he said that everybody lying. We lie to ourselves. We lie about ourselves. There are things that are very clear, and people put all kind of spin on it rather than face the fact. As I said, we are good at pretending. Unfortunately, pretending could be a truth of children up to 11 years. After 11, if you're pretending, you have to be aware that you're pretending. Anyway, my substantive point is in relation to what happens if we have any major disaster. What is the level of preparation or organization we have? We need to face that. Stop lying to ourselves. There's absolute little organization. There's on paper. The major disaster agency have not been allowed to function or resource as they should. There's been interference in the working of the institution over the years. So I'm afraid, especially when I consider our youth, our young people have no clue. What is their role in any recovery thing? We haven't really done anything. We're giving those young people quick fix, devotion, that's going to destroy the environment. That's all we're giving them. Empty talk. And of course, we're telling them come for the thing in the party office. Last time, let me take the opportunity to invite the whole nation and all who are listening to that national conversation. I thought somebody would have tried to interview me. I don't push myself for my organization, but I thought one of you folks would have interview me or so on that. We're having the second national conversation on Sunday at 6 o'clock. From 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. In fact, I just get a message from Dr. Bowles, who said she's looking forward, she's excited about being back with us. I would urge people to tune in, to go to the Facebook page. Anyone who have already get the flyer, to share it with one another. This conversation is not about anti-vaccine. It's not about trying to destabilize anybody. It's to provide a space for us to discuss the intricacies, all the ramifications. People have not been allowed to have the issue of informed consent is a big issue.
Okay.
So I would urge people, last time I forgot your email, otherwise I send it for you. But if you could, maybe after the call, I will call you and then you can give me, I'll be more than happy.
Okay.
Yeah, but please urge people to participate. And finally, Dr. I know I've indulged a little this morning. The buses. Let us do something for people who have to travel. Stop talking and let's make sure that the buses are really, when people want to move, that they can feel a little space.
Okay.
That's not the case at the moment. Thank you for indulgence.
Thank you very much, caller. All right, let me see if I can take some comments on the social media before I wind down. Let me start on YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says, who is the top soca artist that tested positive for COVID? No, don't try to trick me. He has not been identified by the powers that be. Blossom is not going to put herself in trouble. I can't tell you that, at least not in public. I know who it is, but I can't tell you. Call the Ministry of Health and ask them. Don't ask Blossom. Somebody else on YouTube says, oh, they trying to put me in trouble. Somebody else on YouTube says, I saw the photo of Minister Steele in a vehicle with others wearing no masks, but there's no date on it, so it was hard to form an opinion. Beware, this could be fake news. I saw the photo as well, YouTuber, with the movie star. And according to the movie star's social media, he was in Grenada in July. So that's last month. The mid-July. So yeah, it's not photoshopped. He really was in Grenada in July. Yeah, that's as much as I can tell you. All right, let me go by Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says... Hold on, let me see. Yes, I think I got to those. All right, so somebody on Facebook is asking, who is responsible for injury or death arising from taking the vaccine? Is it true that the manufacturers and promoters of the vaccine have been indemnified against any claims for injury or death? Yes, it is true. I've seen the reports that they've indemnified themselves, but it's not the first case of doing so. I think some other vaccines have also indemnified themselves from taking responsibility. So it's not just the COVID-19 manufacturers, and it's not the first time that it's done like that. All right, let me go to WhatsApp. Okay, I haven't seen Joseph yet, so I'm going to read our WhatsApp until Joseph gets here. Somebody on WhatsApp says, if you have an allergic reaction after the first dose of the vaccine, what choice do you have when you must take 2 doses to be fully vaccinated? That's a situation where you need to consult your doctor and or the nurses that are administering the vaccines. It could be a case of giving you medication to treat whatever the reaction may be, or it could be a case your personal doctor would be able to tell you if you can or cannot get the second dose. But don't take it upon yourself. Consult, I suggest strongly, your personal doctor if you have an allergic reaction to the first dose of the vaccine. I want to zero in on Carriacou and PT Martinique. I think it's time we have local government so we can develop the Sister Isles the way it's supposed to be. It is the social constitution, and I think it should be on the ballots next election. Why people who don't know anything about the Sister Isles making decisions for us while we're supposed to have Minister Stewart representing as a model, only dressing up as if she's representing Hollywood instead of Carriacou. Minister Nimrod failed us. Now we have Mrs. Stewart, who is worse than him, and she's following in his footsteps. Why are we still in this mess? Carriacou needs local government and a leader in Tevin Andrews to make that change. Carriacou truly needs it badly. Any change like that, I wonder if it has to go to yet. Well, then again, I don't know. What do you call it? Referendum? I'm not sure. All right, I'm going until I see Joseph. So let me see if I can tackle more. I don't think I have time for calls, so I'm just going to read some of the comments until I see Joseph. Timothy, if you need me to wrap, you know what? Let me wrap the People program. It's 10 o'clock. Thank you very much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. Lies. Start over. Thank you very much for tuning in to The Point. Appreciate your listenership and your viewership. I tried to tackle as many as I can, but I need to leave at the moment so that the TV people can get to their programming and Joseph can take over. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have yourselves a safe, productive weekend. Be safe. COVID-19 protocols in full effect. The situation in Grenada continues to unfold as contact tracing continues. So do all you need to do to stay safe and protect the lives of your loved ones. I'm getting up now, Joseph. Have yourselves a blessed Friday, everybody. Bye-bye.